Hello. Today I want to share with you a very potent and also very playful embodiment practice that I actually came up with yesterday during a walk with my dog. I think it's actually a great practice that can be very helpful in feeling into ourselves, in feeling into, not thinking, only feeling into what is present in us, in the body, in the emotional field, in the aliveness that is present in us. And also it has a potential to help us release something that's not very pleasurable to our system and to shift our inner state. So, before I describe this simple practice to you, I want to give you a little bit of context. So, in my view, emanation, and in the dictionary, emanation is something that originates from source. So it's something that comes from within of us and then is kind of radiating, emanating. I believe that emanation is one of the most potent and important and primary ways of creation, ways of creating. So in my view, by emanation, by what we are radiating, by what we are being, we create. It is creational. And it can be actually observed in a very concrete way. So for instance, you are in a state of delight, like feeling aliveness in your body, maybe enjoying the nature, feeling wonderful and sensual. And from this state, you take action also. You're feeling it and you take action and write a poem, for instance, yeah, or do something, create something tangible. It happens also in like less visible ways. So for instance, by your radiance, by your emanation, by who you are being within, you're impacting relationships, you are impacting communication in a big way. You can totally shift like the tone, the vibe of conversation by your emanation. I think there is little rhyme there, even like by emanation, you impact conversation. Okay. Okay. And it also happens in like less visible, maybe less provable ways. But I deeply believe that there's more to life than meets the eye, and that we are all connected in the web of life in ways that are like physical, but also in ways that our human brain doesn't comprehend yet, energetic, let's say. And I truly believe that like the emanation kind of vibes in the web of life. And by that vibing, let's say, it makes certain things possible, more likely. It opens certain doors. Even in our thinking, in our feeling, in what we will attempt to do, but also what kind of resources are available to us. So in whatever way you are willing to, in whatever level you are willing to play with this idea that emanation is creational, that's fine, that's beautiful, whatever level you're comfortable with. But yes, this is the premise for the practice. The premise is that what we are radiating, what we're emanating, it really matters and it has the power to create. So it's super important to be aware of what we are emanating and to be able also to regulate it. Okay, now we'll dive into the practice. I don't know if you're familiar with the Greek mythology, but probably you know about the goddess of beauty and love and poetry, Aphrodite. And in some myths, it's said that wherever she stepped, wherever she walked, underneath her footprint, flowers bloomed. It's a beautiful image, actually. Like she's walking, and after her, flowers can come out of the ground. So yesterday I was walking, and I wasn't in a very pleasant state. I was in a state of some irritation, and so I decided to get curious and somehow playful about it. And I asked myself, okay, if I was like Aphrodite now and walking, and by walking, I was like creating something to grow, what would it be? Like, what would it be growing in my wake? What would be coming out of my footprints? And the image came very quickly, like very pricky and very dry and spiky plants, with thorns, with like spiky shapes, and those dryness there also. And I said, okay, that's not very pleasurable, but that's what it is. And I actually allowed myself to walk this way a bit, and I like really feel it, the spikiness, the dryness, the thorns. And yeah, and by feeling it, by seeing it, I released some of it, and then I was ready to ask myself, like, if this is not very pleasurable to me, because it wasn't, what would I prefer? If I could be emanating, leaving in my wake something else, what would it be? And what came to mind first was like something green, something moist, and something like a stem of a plant that is quite supple, that is like this, it's a bit moist and very, very juicy green. So, we are able to actually play with energy. And the more you do it, the easier it is. So it was quite easy for me to actually imagine that I'm entering into this kind of green, moist, supple energy. It was quite easy. And I started walking, and my body showed me how to do it, because I needed to release some tension from my spine, to move my spine, like to make my spine almost like that supple and green stem. So I did it, and then I walked, and I saw the greenness, and it was like, such a delightful shift in my inner state, much more pleasurable, enjoyable for me. And like, I thought I was like a nicer person, even only my dog was there to witness it. But I know that when I came back home, I was like much nicer to be around than the pricky, spiky plants. And I also desired that I would like to emanate something, some color, like fuchsia and a bit of yellow and a bit of kind of bluish, like the stems to have some flowers. But in that moment, I could feel that it wasn't available to me in that moment. And it was okay. So I just took this question: what would it take to emanate the fuchsia color? And emanate, it means that something comes from the source. So in order to emanate something, you need to be it within. You need to connect to it on the inside. So I am still with this question. This question is still working me, and showing me the way. And I realized not that long ago that, like, to be the fuchsia emanation, I need to be more in touch with my hips, that it has something to do with my hips. Maybe dancing could, like, help me ease into that fuchsia color frequency. I don't know yet, but I'm still with it. I love it that it can be a process. It doesn't need to be quick. Very often, the first shift can be quick to what is available to you. But if you want to go deeper, you can just be with a question and let it slowly emanate from within into your awareness. So that's the technique. You need to imagine that when you walk in your wake, something, it doesn't need to be a plant, it can be something, shapes, things, energies, colors, textures come up, come out. So you need to feel into, in a playful way, it doesn't need to make sense. Like, walk and see what you are living in your wake. And notice if you like it, and whether you like it or not, just allow it be, because you are acknowledging it this way and releasing also. And if you would like a shift, ask yourself what would be more pleasurable, what would feel better to you. And maybe a color, a shape, a texture, quality of energy will come to you, and then play with it. Probably your body will show you what you need to change a little bit in the way you are standing, moving, breathing. And then just play, just imagine that you are emanating that, what is more desirable. And if you want to go a level deeper, ask yourself what will be even more enriching. And if it's available, do it. If not, stay with the question, and your body, your intuition will show you. Okay, that's it. If you decide to play with it, feel free to let me know what happened. And whether you do the practice or not, I'm inviting you to ponder a bit on this. For me, it's like truth on this notion that emanation is creational, that what you emanate really matters, and that by attending and taking care, doing what it takes to emanate what you wish to emanate, not by faking it. It's really, really very, you cannot fake it. It's emanation is something that originates from source. So this is, you emanate what you are truly and deeply are. By tending to it, you are creating in ways that you can see and in ways that are not visible. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and have a lot of playful, delightful experiences with your emanation and with your body. Bye.